Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name's Christina. I'm a naturopath, herbalist, life coach, as well as carnivore. And this is a space in where I share about what I'm doing, what I'm implementing, what's working, what's not working, as well as teaching about how different organ areas are going to come into play and things that we might need to think about when it comes to our health. So today I'm going to talk about the HCG protocol. Now, if you are new or haven't been in my space for very long, if you're not following along on Facebook, you might not know that I have been over the last sort of 6 months removing myself from a domestic violence situation. And that has taken its toll on a whole bunch of different things like my mental health, my emotional health, all of that type of stuff. And it's been, we're in the seventh month now of like detangling and working my way through that. And so, one of the things that I have done over the last 6 months is just give myself grace. Let whatever was going to be in regards to food. So, my food has not been perfect. I've not been strict the way that I have previously been. And that is, of course, with the multiplication that comes with stress, has meant that I have gained weight. And I feel like I just kind of needed that period of my life to just be whatever it was going to be and just like take some of the weight off of my shoulders to be perfect and to be amazing and all of that type of stuff because I am a mother of seven. So I'm now a single mother of seven, homeschooling. I'm studying full time as well to get, my bachelor's and my doctorates and those types of things happening. And so along with navigating the world of singlehood and so on, there's been a lot on my platter, and I've been working through trauma and grief and all of those types of things. And so I'm just like, I just need to like take that off that I have to be perfect in space. And yes, being perfect in that space would have probably helped, but also life is life, and we can't, completely control everything. And so, with that being said, I've been wanting to get myself back on track for a while, but we've had birthdays and all the things. And this is kind of that period of the year for me when starting something fresh, new, or getting strict on something is actually the perfect time because the birthday gauntlet is gone for me. So, I have like 5 birthdays in a row where everyone has a birthday within about 18 to 21 days of each other. And now we have like a nice big 5 week break on that. So I don't have any birthdays for a while. I've got a nice clear run. I don't have any big trips or anything like that planned. So it's easy for me to kind of get myself into a nice good habit and so on. And so one of the things that I have been doing, so if you again new, you might not know that I have a carnivore support group. And in my carnivore support group is where I might do a little bit of experimentation with people, so that we try things out and see what's actually working, what helps them, etc., etc. And I'll often do that before I share it with like a larger group of people. So we'll have like a little bit of a experimentation within the group, and then we will, if it's working well, we might share it with other people. And so for me, before I had even started carnivore and so on, I came across the HCG protocol. So if HCG is new to you, HCG is basically the hormone that women produce when they become pregnant. So as soon as that egg is fertilized, what happens is we start to release HCG. Now, HCG is a hormone that opens up the fat cells essentially, and it facilitates them to move into the bloodstream, which means that when you're pregnant, your baby can eat all of the time, not just when you're actually eating, which is pertinent for like if you have got morning sickness or food aversions, or you're finding it really hard, that your baby still gets fuel. And so the HCG protocol uses that hormone to facilitate fat mobilization as well as rapid fat loss. Now, I have used it previously in the past in a non-carnivore perspective. So I've absolutely done it in the past and had great results, but it wasn't carnivore and I didn't necessarily maintain those results because I just went back to kind of eating the way that I was eating before I'd actually did that protocol. And so, one of the things that I had been toying with was actually creating a carnivore version of the HCG protocol. And that's what I did a couple of months ago. And my intention was to start, but I really wasn't quite ready to be in the headspace of doing something strict at that point. Still had a few things that I needed to work through. Anyway, some of my group members decided to join me in that, and they have done amazing. And one of the things that I really love about it is that, some of those group members had reached the point where maybe they were stalling with their weight or they were struggling with their weight and they just weren't getting the traction that they wanted. And I'll see this often happen when people have got things like chronic fatigue or adrenal fatigue, where they've been draining their adrenals for such a long period of time, or say maybe they've got diabetes or something along those lines as well, where their body is just kind of exhausted. And we will do what I like to do in the first, 6 months of those types of clients is like really fill them up. Like we need to like think about nourishing you to the extreme in the sense of making sure there's loads of nutrient dense foods so that all the things that have been depleted can actually start to fill up. But that often comes with some weight gain as well, which can be really tricky with women, especially if you've heard that message of like, weight is terrible, and that whole we've spent our whole lives trying to be thinner, etc., etc. And so what have find is that sometimes we get to a stalling point with those people. And we can play around with a whole bunch of different things like the TDE and so on to try and get them moving, and our blood glucose and ketones, etc. And again, we can use those and that can sometimes give us some traction. But what I was thinking for myself is I just wanted a jump start because I've gained a little bit of weight and I want a jump start to catch me back up, to get me back to where I was before I really dived into the trauma and let things go a little bit in order to get through. And I was reminded of the HCG protocol that I'd done previously. Now, I use a homeopathic HCG. I don't use injectable HCGs, which of course you can access in other parts of the world. I don't think you need it. Like the homeopathic one works. And so I use what works with the least intervention. And so the homeopathic HCG paired with a low calorie diet works really well. But I actually find that it works even better when you do it from an animal-based perspective. So previously, when I have done HCG, it has included fruit and vegetables and meats, etc., but very limited. So it's about 500 to 800 calories a day with the HCG. Now, remembering that the HCG unlocks your fat cells, which means that your diet is pretty much like your calorie availability for the day is around 2,000 calories. And that is 800 of what you're eating plus 1,200 that's coming from your fat stores. And that mobilization of those fat stores, one, it gets to some of that really stubborn fat. Two, it also helps with not feeling hungry. So we don't actually tend to feel hungry after the first couple of days. And so I'm here to give a brief rundown of the HCG protocol. And if you want to come and join me, I'm starting on the 19th of July. You can start around the same time if you like, but that's when I'm starting. If you want to come and join me for a 43-day HCG round, to give yourself a bit of a jump start when it comes to some weight loss, some energy bursting, those types of things, but still staying carnivore. So the first part, so HCG is broken up into like 4 stages. The first stage is, or the first phase is where we start taking the drops. So for 2 days, we start the homeopathic drops, and it takes a couple of days for those drops to actually onboard and start to get working. So during those 2 days, you also have to eat a very high fat diet. So ideally, we want to eat as much of our good fats as we possibly can until we get to that place of like, oh my gosh, I am Christmas full. I cannot eat anymore. I am ready to like take a break from eating. That's kind of what you want to get to. And then phase two is where we continue to take the drops, but now we change the calories and we stop eating fat. Because the more fat we don't eat, the more we can pull from our actual bodies as well. So we eat little to no fat for the next 43 days. And over that period of time, we're eating around 800 calories a day from lean proteins and our meats. So eggs, egg whites, for example, here in Australia, we've got kangaroo, we've got chicken, turkey, all of that type of stuff, seafood, etc. I've written a whole, it's like 7 day sort of protocol that you could follow if you can basically mix and match it if you want to. But our approximate is to eat around 800 calories a day so that we can pull 1,200 from our actual fat stores, but also that 800 in protein, really, like, or in a high protein sort of diet, means that we're maintaining our muscle mass so that we're not pulling from our muscles to fuel our body, we're pulling from the fat stores to fuel our body. And so, from that perspective, what you'll often see is some really rapid weight loss. So, that might be anywhere from about 10 to 20 kilos. In pounds, that's about 20 to 40 pounds in those 43 days. And that sometimes can be enough to just get your body back on track and get it moving in the right direction, move some of that really stubborn weight that's sitting around our organs, that visceral weight that's hanging out there, slowing down our organ functions, etc. But it also helps to give you that motivation to continue moving forward. And so, again, I'm doing this for me because I've been through, a really traumatic experience. I'm still going to be going through that experience, especially as I unpack the last 23 years of my life, and what that looks like now moving forward, getting new direction and all of that type of stuff. I'm still going to be doing that, but I want to do it from a healthy perspective where I'm really looking after my body and taking care of it. And so this is me giving my body a jump start to get moving and start to get back on track and get back onto the straight and narrow and to focus on the things that I need to in order to be able to, be around for my children and look after them and give them the best possible future that they can possibly have, as well as looking after my own future. Like, I've shared here that I want to go into medicine. That's going to take a lot of my own willpower and energy, and I need to be at peak performance to be able to do that. And so, this is me giving myself a jump start into the direction that I need to go and where I want to go to be able to achieve the things that I have in my life. And so basically, I'm offering an invitation for you to come and join me if you want to come and join me. So basically, what I'm going to do is I will share a link, which will, it'll be $99 to come along and do the next 43. It'll be 45 days because like we've 2 days of our loading, which is phase one. Then we've got 43 days of phase three, and then phase two, sorry. And phase three is 3 days of we stop the drops, we maintain that low calorie, and then and phase four is as we slowly start to bring that back up. So basically you're looking at about 2 months worth of work and energy from you to uh, complete the cycle. And I'm inviting you to come along with me if you want to. But this is what I'm doing. I've just seen some really great results with my own clients in it. And I'm keen to get myself back on track and do that for myself. I don't have any blocks in front of me at this point in time. So I'm ready to run. Are you going to come and join me? You don't have to. You're welcome to stick around and see what the results are. I will share them, of course. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. If you have any questions, pop them below or send me a message. I'm happy to chat via Messenger, by the way. All right. Bye for now. I'll see you later. Thanks for listening.